Hey class, I hope you guys are doing great. I hope last week went great. I haven't read all of your writing reflections, so I don't have a lot of feedback to give you on that. The most important thing with it though is I hope that you are prepared, that you have that in a document where you are prepared to add to it and add future writing reflections. You will have one coming up sort of soon. We are going to be getting into quite a bit of writing. You're going to be writing a few short documents, basically, right? You wrote a short writing reflection, and now you're going to be writing a short summary. Then you're going to write a revision of this, and then another short writing reflection next week. So just get ready. Hopefully, you took some of the advice you gave yourself about writing to heart, and you are ready for all of that. So this week, week 4, we're working on our summary. I'm going to go over those guidelines with you in just one second. So your readings, you have 3 readings. They're all from the book. At this point, week 4, I'm hoping and expecting that all of you have the book you need for this class. So this is all in the textbook. It's all about rhetoric and genres of writing as well as summarizing, right? So this is pretty important, this chapter right here, quoting, paraphrasing, summarizing. It's really going to tell you the importance of what a summary is and what a summary does, which is to summarize, right? To get the point across shorter. The purpose of a summary is if you don't want to read a whole thing or you don't want to watch a whole movie, you expect it to be summarized. Yes? So it helps people. It's to help people understand the point of something and the key points without unnecessary information, so they know if they want to read that or watch that or etc. etc. Then you're going to read this chapter about writing rhetoric in the workplace, which is going to be about forming your rhetoric to different genres in the workplace, essentially. It does pertain to the assignment, but not in that it talks about summary. And then you're going to read this that talks about tweets or reports, like how to convey a message in different ways, right? That's what I want us to be thinking about while you're reading these chapters. Like, what is the most helpful way for me to express the information that I need? What's the genre I need to write it in, and so on. And then you have a couple, you'll notice you have 2 discussion forums here. One is related to your paper, and one is a discussion forum, kind of like what we've been doing. This is a lot of writing as well, though, right? So you're going to be writing a summary, then you're going to write your actual summary. But this doesn't need to be terribly long, but I do expect it to be a short paragraph. But the purpose of this discussion forum, how to write a bad summary, is that I want you to be thinking about what a summary should not do. A summary should not ramble. It should not go off into points that are unnecessary to the main point. The job of a summary is to stay on point, to express the main points and the key points that go with that, right? So a summary should not go into your opinion about characters. It should not go into side stories that aren't essential to understanding the plot of the movie overall. The summary should not leave out the end exactly. So a summary is a little bit different than what perhaps like a movie review or the back of a box might be, in that it won't give things away, right? Because that's a different genre. What they put on the back of movies or like in a movie about section is usually trying to get you to watch the movie, right? This should give the key point and the plot. If you're summarizing a book, you aren't too worried about leaving things out. Like, don't worry about that, right? You want to get the point across of what's happening in the book. So think about if you're about to read an article about a book, you might never read that book. So it's important that you understand what the heck is going on in the book and that the author wasn't too vague when they were describing it to you. So a summary should not ramble. It should not go off on tangents. It should not have unhelpful information. There are some other things in the list on that. And then I want you to open up this discussion forum and I want you to write the worst summary of all time. There are better instructions in there. I'm not going to click on it right this second, but I want you to write a summary. I think it says about a movie. and I want you to make it awful. I want it to be so confusing. I want it to stray from the point. I want you to go off on tangents. I want you to give me irrelevant information. I want it to be the worst summary I've ever read in my life, right? And then I want you guys to comment on each other's summaries and explain to me exactly why that summary does not work and what's going on with it that's wrong. So have fun with that. It can be silly. I'm not looking for it to be super professional or pretend, right? So it can be kind of ridiculous. So just have fun with that assignment. The main thing that is important to me about that assignment is that you are thinking about what is not acceptable in a summary. So when you read each other's, it's fine if it's funny and you laugh and it doesn't make sense, that's great. But what's important about the activity is that when you are doing that, you're noticing why that's not working and why it's an ineffective way to communicate a summary. And then for our peer review discussion, you're going to be submitting a draft of your summary paper that is due. And so let me go ahead and I don't know what I'm singing to you guys. Sorry, let's see here. I want to make sure you guys can see this. Maybe make this a little bit smaller. So this is for your summary. So you're going to pick any movie. It doesn't matter what kind of movie you choose. It doesn't really matter if I've seen it because you're going to summarize it. You're going to summarize it well. So it doesn't matter if I've seen it. Right, okay, so the purpose is to expose the genre of summary, so for you guys to understand what a summary is. You're going to pick a movie. After you choose one movie, don't choose two, that's I think why I put that in all caps, you're going to write an informal summary as if you were talking to a friend. So I want this summary to not sound academic. I want it to be very clear that this is not a school summary. I want this to have colloquial slang and phrases like, hey friend, I went to the movies today and I saw this movie. I think you would really like it. This is what it's about. Summary, right? Okay, so this should be one full paragraph. I don't need grammar to matter in this. Grammar can be all over the place because you can use slang. You can use ain't, you can use bro, I don't care. I want that. I want this, the tone of this paper should be similar to if you were writing a long text message to a friend or if you were chatting to a friend, but in written form, if that makes sense. Or think about it perhaps as if it were a Facebook post or you were describing a movie that you saw, right? You can even do that. You can write on top of it, you know, this is Facebook post form. Morgan Spalding, post, blah, blah, blah. However you want to do that. You can be creative with that. That is fun, exciting, whatever is going to make it more fun for you. You can include jokes, but the key points need to be present, right? So the summary should still be doing what a summary does, and it should still be doing it well, but it should be doing it in a really informal way, as if you were talking to a friend. But I want you to kind of keep in mind, like, you probably all have at least one friend who is really bad at summarizing things, right? And when they try to tell you about a movie or they try to tell you about how a date with someone went, they go off on these tangents about, you know, they start talking about this actor that was in the movie and how they were in this other movie and they loved that movie too. And you find yourself wondering, like, what movie are we even talking about right now? Like, I have no idea what this movie is actually about because my friend is really bad at summarizing, right? Remember those types of people. This summary should not be that way, right? That is the place for the bad summary forum. You can go off on those tangents. You can talk about that random stuff. This summary should be doing what a summary needs to do. It should address the key points. It should convey the main plot in an effective way, but it should do so in an informal tone, likened to that of Facebook or text message. I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, let me know. I don't know. Cool. Right, here is the page number that the summary is on. If you might want to like check that. This needs to be an MLA format, double space, 12 font, informal tone. You do not need citations. You do need to let me know what the movie is. So at some point, the title of the movie should be included, either in the first sentence, in the thesis statement, whatever, or in addition to in the title, whatever. So in MLA format, feel free to look that up. It is in your textbook. It's in the back if you're not really sure about that. But it includes your name, the class, the date, and my name up here in the top corner. I may have said that in not correct order, but check that out. And then it includes a little title, and then it includes double spaced down, right? And then it should be one full page. So it should basically be a long paragraph. Double spaced is pretty that's like a normal size paragraph if it goes to the rest of the page. What I want to show you, a big part of this assignment is putting it into the discussion forum. That's going to be like part of the full grade. So, let me just go ahead and show you. Well, no, I'll explain it first and then I'll show you. But you're going to copy and paste from your Word document. You should save it. Save it on Word because you're going to do something else with this document. But if you don't save it, it's fine. You can like recopy and paste it from your discussion forum. Whatever. But in general, when I write in discussion forums or when I have to write like something long in a forum, I usually write it in Word anyways because sometimes it deletes things like if you take a break. But either way, however you want to accomplish that, you're going to copy and paste. You don't need to put the heading and all of that in the discussion forum, but just the paragraph itself. And then you're going to give each other feedback, and there are questions for the feedback on the forum. You need to do that by Thursday at 11:59 p.m., which means that you have a draft of your summary at Thursday at 11:59 p.m., right? The summary itself is due Sunday at 11:59 p.m., but part of your grade is having a draft of that paragraph in the peer review box at Thursday. So you need to have some semblance of a draft, not even some semblance, a draft itself. You need to have a draft at that time. Here is our labor-based grading system that we're going to be using for this, so feel free to check this out. If your assignment is late, incomplete, and doesn't follow the basic criteria, you will earn lower than an 80%. There'll be a certain amount of points taken off for each thing that is not going well with that. If you follow the basic requirements and show an understanding of summary, focus on the main points, and the tone of paper matches the guidelines. So that is important, right? Because I care about tone in this paper. I don't want it to sound academic. So if it doesn't meet those guidelines, if you give me something that sounds like a school paper, you will get a lower grade because that's not what I'm asking for, right? And the point of this is that you understand the correct tone. And then it will earn higher than 80% if you clearly meet all of those criteria, your tone is great, all of that makes sense, the point is awesome, and I want to see revisions, right? So I want to be able to see that you made changes from your first draft that you posted in peer review to your paper. So that is important to me. Now, let's X out of this and come back to here, and then I want to, so in here is where you're going to be posting that. You have groups, okay, so then it's not just choose any two people. I already have you placed in groups for this discussion forum for peer review, so you need to respond to everyone in your group, which is either, I think it's 3 people per group, but it might be 4. I'm actually not positive, so it's probably 3. Either way, respond to everyone in there. And then Sunday, 11:59 p.m. is when you are going to be submitting your final summary, which is not in a discussion forum type thing. It should still be informal, right? That is a goal of the paper. And so if you are giving someone peer review and theirs doesn't sound informal, you're like, this sounds a little too professional to meet the tone, that requirement that we were asked of, then you should probably let them know that so that they can alter that tone a little bit. Yeah, so you're giving feedback to your peer review. You also are responding in this, right? So you are doing a few things. You are writing, this bad summary is totally separate. It does not need to be the movie that you choose to write your actual summary on. It can be something different. I'm not even sure if I said anything about a movie, but that's different. But you are going to respond to people in that. And then you're going to do your peer review. And then you're going to submit your final incorporating feedback from your peer review. So that is all for the week. Good amount of writing. If you have any additional questions about this, please don't hesitate to reach out to me so that I can help you. Make sure you get that assignment in on time. Remember my late work policy for papers. It is 20% taken off if you submit a paper late to me. And after 1 full week, I will not accept that paper at all. So keep that in mind. Make sure you get those papers in on time. And if something is going to prevent you from doing so, let me know ahead of time. All right? Don't let me know the day after or something like that. Okay, well, you guys have fun writing your summaries. I'm excited to read your bad summaries. I think it's going to be really fun. And hopefully you learn a little bit about the summary genre. Thanks, guys.